Right now, this very second, there's a scientific formula that's been creating millionaires for over a century. Yet 99% of people have never heard of it. I'm talking about Wallace D. Wattles, an exact science of getting rich. And what I'm about to share with you isn't some feel-good theory or wishful thinking. This is a precise mathematical approach to wealth creation that works as reliably as gravity itself. Here's what most people don't understand about money. They think it's scarce. They think there's only so much to go around. They think that for them to get rich, someone else has to get poor. But that's competitive thinking, and competitive thinking will keep you broke forever. What Wattles discovered over 100 years ago is that there's an infinite source of wealth available to every single person on this planet, and accessing it is a matter of following specific laws as exact as the laws of physics. Think about this for a moment. Every billionaire, every millionaire, every wealthy person you admire didn't just get lucky. They didn't just work harder than everyone else. They aligned themselves, either consciously or unconsciously, with what Wattles called the thinking substance of the universe. This is the raw material from which all wealth is created, and it responds to your thoughts with mathematical precision. But here's where it gets really interesting. Most people are using this same power to create poverty instead of wealth. They're thinking competitive thoughts, scarcity thoughts, limitation thoughts, and the universe is giving them exactly what they're asking for. It's like having the most powerful computer in the world and using it to run programs that delete your files. The power is there, but you're using it backwards. What I'm going to show you today is how to reverse this process completely, how to align your thinking with the infinite abundance that's already waiting for you, how to move from competitive thinking to creative thinking, how to tap into what Wattles called the science of getting rich, and how to do it in a way that creates wealth not just for you, but for everyone you touch. By the time we're done here, you're going to understand the exact mental laws that govern wealth creation. You're going to know how to form clear mental images that magnetize money to you. You're going to discover the gratitude formula that keeps you connected to infinite supply. And most importantly, you're going to learn how to take intelligent action that moves you swiftly and surely toward financial independence. This isn't about getting rich quick. This is about getting rich with absolute certainty by following natural laws that never fail. Are you ready to discover the science that's been hiding in plain sight? Let's dive in. The first principle that will completely transform your relationship with money is understanding what Wattles called the thinking substance. This is the fundamental reality that most people miss entirely, and missing it is the reason they struggle financially their entire lives. Here's what you need to understand. Everything you see around you, every building, every car, every dollar bill, every business, started as a thought in someone's mind. But here's the part that blows most people's minds. That thought didn't create these things out of nothing. It shaped them from a substance that was already there, a substance that fills all space and responds to human thought. Wattles called this the original substance, and it's literally the raw material from which all wealth is formed. Think of it like this. A sculptor doesn't create marble. The marble already exists, but the sculptor shapes it with their vision, their tools, their skill. In the same way, you don't create wealth out of thin air. You shape it from the infinite substance that's already present everywhere, including right where you are sitting right now. This substance has one incredible property that changes everything once you really get it. It thinks. It's not dead matter. It's living, thinking substance that responds to the mental images you hold with absolute fidelity. When you think thoughts of wealth and abundance, you're literally programming this substance to manifest wealth and abundance in your physical experience. When you think thoughts of lack and limitation, you're programming it to manifest lack and limitation. Most people are unconsciously programming poverty into their lives every single day. They wake up and think about their bills. They think about what they can't afford. They think about the economy being bad. They think about their job being insecure. And the thinking substance responds to every single one of these thoughts by creating more experiences that match them. But here's what happens when you understand this principle and start using it correctly. You begin to think only thoughts that align with the wealth you want to create. You hold clear, definite mental images of the life you want to live. You feel genuine gratitude for the abundance that's already flowing to you, and the thinking substance begins reshaping your circumstances to match these new thought patterns. This isn't magic or mysticism. This is science. Wattles spent years studying successful people and discovered that every single one of them, whether they knew it or not, was using their mind in this specific way. They were thinking from abundance instead of thinking about scarcity. They were creative instead of competitive. They were grateful instead of resentful. Right now, start paying attention to your thoughts about money. Are you thinking thoughts that would create wealth if the universe responded to them exactly? Because here's the thing, it is responding to them exactly. Every thought you think about money is an instruction to the thinking substance about what kind of financial reality to create for you. If you're thinking, I can't afford that, you're instructing the substance to create more situations where you can't afford things. If you're thinking that money is hard to make, you're instructing it to make money hard for you to make. But if you start thinking, money flows to me easily and abundantly, you're giving it completely different instructions. The thinking substance doesn't judge your instructions. It doesn't decide whether you deserve wealth or not. It simply responds to the mental images you consistently hold and the feelings you consistently feel. This is why some people seem to have the golden touch, while others struggle no matter how hard they work. It's not about effort. It's about alignment with natural law. From this moment forward, every time you catch yourself thinking a thought that would create poverty, stop immediately and replace it with a thought that would create wealth. This isn't positive thinking. This is scientific thinking. You're literally programming the substance of the universe to create wealth in your life instead of poverty. The second principle that separates the wealthy from the struggling is the difference between creative thinking and competitive thinking. And understanding this distinction will completely change how you approach making money. Most people operate from competitive thinking without even realizing it. They look at the pie and think there are only so many slices to go around. They think that for them to get rich, they have to take something away from someone else. They think they have to fight for their share, compete for limited opportunities, and somehow win in a game where most people lose. This competitive mindset is the root of financial struggle because it's based on a fundamental misunderstanding of how wealth is actually created. When you think competitively, you're trying to get your wealth from what already exists. You're trying to get a bigger piece of the existing pie instead of creating a bigger pie. But creative thinking operates from a completely different premise. Creative thinking recognizes that wealth isn't something you take from what already exists. Wealth is something you create by bringing new value into the world. When you think creatively, you're not trying to get a bigger slice of the pie. You're creating an entirely new pie. Here's a simple example that illustrates this perfectly. Let's say you want to make more money. Competitive thinking would look for ways to take customers away from competitors, charge more for the same service, or cut costs by paying employees less. Creative thinking would look for ways to serve customers better than anyone ever has before, create new solutions to problems that haven't been solved, or find ways to deliver more value than anyone else in the market. Do you see the difference? Competitive thinking operates from scarcity. Creative thinking operates from abundance. Competitive thinking assumes there's not enough to go around. Creative thinking knows that there's infinite opportunity to create value, and therefore infinite opportunity to create wealth. Every great fortune in history was built through creative thinking. Henry Ford didn't compete with other carriage makers for a bigger share of the carriage market. He created an entirely new market by making cars affordable for ordinary people. Steve Jobs didn't compete with other computer companies by making cheaper computers. He created entirely new categories of products that people didn't even know they wanted. When you shift from competitive thinking to creative thinking, something amazing happens. Instead of trying to take wealth away from others, you start creating wealth for others. Instead of trying to win in a zero-sum game, you start creating games where everyone wins. And when you do that, the universe responds by sending you more wealth than you ever thought possible. Here's how to make this shift practically. Whenever you catch yourself thinking about how to get what you want from what already exists, stop and ask yourself this question. How can I create something new that serves people better than anything that currently exists? How can I add more value than anyone else is adding? How can I solve problems that haven't been solved before? When you start asking these questions, your mind begins working in an entirely different way. Instead of looking for opportunities to compete, you start looking for opportunities to create. Instead of seeing other successful people as threats, you start seeing them as evidence that success is possible. Instead of worrying about the economy or the market or the competition, you start focusing on how you can serve people in ways that make their lives better. This shift from competitive to creative thinking is so powerful that it can transform your financial results almost overnight, but it requires a fundamental change in how you see the world and your place in it. You have to stop seeing yourself as someone fighting for scraps and start seeing yourself as someone with unlimited creative power to add value to the world. The thinking substance responds to creative thoughts by creating opportunities for you to express your creativity profitably. It responds to competitive thoughts by creating situations where you have to compete harder and harder for smaller and smaller rewards. Which type of thinking do you want to align yourself with? The third principle that will accelerate your wealth creation beyond anything you've ever experienced is what Wattles called the law of gratitude. And this might be the most misunderstood aspect of creating wealth. Most people think gratitude is something nice you do when good things happen to you. They think it's a polite response to receiving gifts or achieving goals. But Wattles discovered that gratitude is actually the fundamental connecting link between you and the infinite source of all wealth. It's not a response to abundance, it's the cause of abundance. Here's why this works at the deepest level. The thinking substance that we talked about earlier responds to the mental vibration you're sending out moment by moment. When you're feeling grateful, you're sending out a vibration that says, I am receiving abundance. Good things are flowing to me. I am connected to infinite supply. And the substance responds by creating more experiences that match that vibration. But when you're feeling ungrateful, resentful, or focused on what you don't have, you're sending out a completely different signal. You're telling the universe, I'm not receiving what I want. Good things aren't coming to me. I'm cut off from supply. And the universe responds by creating more experiences that match that vibration instead. This is why some people seem to be magnets for good fortune, while others can't catch a break no matter what they do. It's not luck. It's the law of attraction working through gratitude or the lack of it. Grateful people attract more things to be grateful for. Ungrateful people attract more things to complain about. But here's where it gets really powerful. Wattles taught that you don't have to wait until you're wealthy to start feeling grateful for wealth. You can feel grateful for the wealth that's on its way to you right now. You can feel grateful for the infinite supply that's available to you right now. You can feel grateful for your connection to the thinking substance right now. When you do this, something magical happens. The universe starts rearranging circumstances to match the gratitude you're feeling. Opportunities start appearing. People start helping you in unexpected ways. Ideas start coming to you that solve problems you couldn't solve before. Resources start flowing in directions you never anticipated. This isn't wishful thinking. This is how the law of gratitude works at the practical level. When you're genuinely grateful for wealth and abundance, you naturally start thinking thoughts, feeling feelings, and taking actions that align with wealth and abundance. You stop thinking thoughts of lack. You stop feeling feelings of scarcity. You stop taking actions that push abundance away. Here's how to apply this principle starting right now. Every morning when you wake up, before you do anything else, spend 5 minutes feeling deeply grateful for the abundance that's already in your life and the abundance that's flowing to you. Don't just think grateful thoughts, feel grateful feelings. Let the feeling of gratitude fill your entire being. Be grateful for the air you breathe, because it's free and unlimited. Be grateful for your ability to think, because that's your connection to infinite creative power. Be grateful for the opportunities around you, because they're everywhere once you start looking for them. Be grateful for the money that's already flowing into your life, even if it's not as much as you want yet. But here's the key part that most people miss. Don't just be grateful for what you can see. Be grateful for what you can't see yet but know is coming. Be grateful for the wealth that's forming in the invisible realm before it manifests in the physical realm. Be grateful for the business ideas that are developing in your mind. Be grateful for the opportunities that are being prepared for you right now. When you practice gratitude at this level, you become a magnet for abundance. You start attracting wealth from directions you never expected. You start receiving help from people you never met. You start discovering resources you never knew existed. You start having insights that solve problems you've been struggling with for years. The law of gratitude works because it aligns your mental vibration with the vibration of abundance itself. When you're grateful, you're thinking the same way that abundance thinks. You're feeling the same way that abundance feels. And therefore, you're attracting abundance into your experience through natural law. Make gratitude your default mental state, and watch how quickly your financial circumstances begin to change. But remember, this has to be genuine gratitude, not just positive thinking. You have to really feel it, not just think it. The thinking substance responds to feeling, not just thought. The fourth principle that will transform your ability to create wealth is the science of forming clear mental images. And this is where most people's wealth creation efforts fall apart completely. Wattles discovered that the thinking substance can only respond to clear, definite, specific mental images. It's like placing an order with the universe. If your order is vague, confused, or constantly changing, the universe doesn't know what to deliver to you. But if your order is crystal clear, specific, and held with unwavering focus, the universe begins immediately arranging circumstances to fulfill that exact order. Most people think they know what they want, but when you really examine their mental images, they're incredibly fuzzy. They say they want to be rich, but they have no clear picture of what rich means to them. They say they want financial freedom, but they've never clearly defined what financial freedom would look like in their actual life. They say they want more money, but they have no specific target, no clear vision, no definite image of what they're actually trying to create. This vagueness is why most people's financial dreams never manifest. The thinking substance is ready and willing to create whatever you want, but it needs clear instructions. It needs to know exactly what you want it to create for you. It needs a detailed blueprint of the life you want to live, the amount of money you want to earn, the lifestyle you want to enjoy, the impact you want to make. Here's how to create mental images that actually work. First, get specific about numbers. Don't just say you want to be wealthy. Decide exactly how much money you want to earn per month, per year, how much you want to have saved, how much you want to be worth. Give the universe exact figures to work with. Second, create a clear picture of how this wealth will manifest. What kind of business will you have? What kind of value will you be providing? What problems will you be solving? How will you be serving people? The wealth has to come through some form of service, so get clear about what that service will be. Third, visualize the lifestyle this wealth will create for you. Where will you live? How will you spend your days? What will you be able to do for your family, your community, the causes you care about? Make it so real in your mind that you can feel what it feels like to be living that life right now. But here's the part that most people miss completely. Once you form these clear mental images, you have to hold them with perfect faith. You can't doubt. You can't waver. You can't keep changing your mind about what you want. You have to know with absolute certainty that what you've visualized is already yours in the invisible realm and is now working its way into physical manifestation. This requires what Wattles called scientific faith, not blind faith, but faith based on understanding natural law. When you plant a seed in the ground, you don't dig it up every day to see if it's growing. You have faith that the laws of nature will cause that seed to grow into the plant it's designed to become. In the same way, when you plant a clear mental image in the thinking substance, you have to have faith that the laws of mind will cause that image to grow into the physical reality it's designed to become. The moment you start doubting, you're sending mixed signals to the universe. You're saying yes and no at the same time. You're placing an order and then canceling it. You're programming wealth and then programming poverty. The thinking substance gets confused and doesn't know which instruction to follow. Here's a practical exercise that will develop your power of mental imagery. Every night before you go to sleep, spend 15 minutes visualizing your ideal financial life in perfect detail. See yourself living the life you want to live. Feel yourself feeling the way you want to feel. Experience yourself experiencing the wealth you want to create. Make it so real that your subconscious mind can't tell the difference between the visualization and actual reality. The more real you can make it in your mind, the more quickly it will manifest in your world. Your subconscious mind will start working 24 hours a day to make your mental images into physical realities. But remember, these mental images have to be held with absolute certainty. You have to know that what you're visualizing is not just a fantasy or a wish, but a preview of the life you're actually going to live. This knowing is what activates the creative power of the thinking substance in your behalf. The fifth principle that will multiply your income faster than anything else you could possibly do is what Wattles called intelligent action, and this is where the rubber meets the road in wealth creation. Everything we've talked about so far, the thinking substance, creative thinking, gratitude, mental imagery, all of it is preparation for this moment, because ultimately, wealth is not created in your mind, it's created through action in the physical world. But not just any action, intelligent action, action that's guided by clear purpose and aligned with natural law. Most people take random action hoping something will work. They try this business idea, then that business idea. They chase this opportunity, then that opportunity. They work hard, but they work without clear direction. They're busy, but they're not productive. They're active, but they're not effective. Intelligent action is completely different. Intelligent action is action that flows naturally from clear mental images. It's action that's inspired by purpose and guided by principle. It's action that serves others while creating wealth for yourself. It's action that feels right because it is right. When you're taking intelligent action, you don't have to force anything. You don't have to push or struggle or fight for results. You simply follow the inspiration that comes to you as a result of holding clear mental images and maintaining a grateful connection to the thinking substance. The right actions become obvious. The right opportunities present themselves. The right people appear at the right time. But here's what most people don't understand about intelligent action. It requires you to act on every inspiration that comes to you, even if you don't see how it connects to your goal. When you're connected to the thinking substance through clear imagery and grateful feeling, you start receiving guidance about what to do and when to do it. This guidance might not always make logical sense, but it's always correct. Sometimes you'll feel inspired to call someone you haven't talked to in years, and that call will lead to a business opportunity. Sometimes you'll feel inspired to attend an event you weren't planning to attend, and you'll meet someone who changes your financial life. Sometimes you'll feel inspired to learn a new skill or read a certain book, and that knowledge will be exactly what you need for your next breakthrough. The key is to act on these inspirations immediately, without hesitation, without trying to figure out why you're being guided in that direction. The thinking substance sees the whole picture, while you only see a small part of it. Trust its guidance even when you don't understand its logic. Here's how to recognize intelligent action. First, it feels right. There's a sense of rightness about it that goes beyond logical analysis. Second, it serves others. Intelligent action always creates value for other people, not just for yourself. Third, it flows naturally from your mental images. It feels like a natural step toward the life you've visualized. When you take intelligent action consistently, something amazing happens. Opportunities start multiplying. Resources start appearing. People start helping you in ways you never expected. Doors start opening that were previously closed. Your income starts increasing not just from your own efforts, but from the cooperation of forces beyond your direct control. This is how wealthy people seem to have all the luck. They're not lucky. They're taking intelligent action based on clear mental images while maintaining a grateful connection to infinite supply. They're working in harmony with natural law instead of against it. Starting right now, pay attention to the inspirations that come to you throughout the day. When you feel prompted to do something that feels right and serves others, do it immediately. Don't analyze it to death. Don't talk yourself out of it. Don't wait for a more convenient time. Take action while the inspiration is fresh. Every time you act on genuine inspiration, you strengthen your connection to the thinking substance. Every time you ignore genuine inspiration, you weaken that connection. Build the habit of immediate action on genuine inspiration and watch how quickly your financial life begins to transform. The sixth principle that will accelerate your wealth creation beyond anything you've ever experienced is understanding and applying what Wattles called the advancing life. And this principle ties everything else together into a complete system of wealth creation. The advancing life is a life of constant growth, constant expansion, constant movement toward greater expression of your potential. It's a life where you're always becoming more than you were before, always creating more value than you created before, always serving at a higher level than you served before. When you're living the advancing life, you're not trying to maintain the status quo. You're not trying to just get by or just survive or just make ends meet. You're constantly expanding your vision, increasing your capacity, and multiplying your contribution to the world. You're living in a state of perpetual growth. This is crucial for wealth creation because the thinking substance only responds to life that's moving forward. It responds to growth, expansion, progress, advancement. It doesn't respond to stagnation, complacency, or settling for less than your potential. When you're advancing, the universe advances with you. When you're standing still, the universe stands still with you. Most people reach a certain level of comfort and then stop growing. They get a decent job and stop learning. They reach a certain income level and stop expanding their vision. They achieve a certain lifestyle and stop pushing themselves to become more. And when they stop advancing, their income stops advancing too. But when you commit to the advancing life, when you commit to constant growth and constant expansion, your income has no choice but to grow and expand with you. You become too big for your current income level. You become too valuable for your current position. You become too skilled for your current opportunities. The universe has to create bigger opportunities to match your bigger capacity. Here's how to live the advancing life practically. First, never stop learning. Always be reading books that expand your mind. Always be taking courses that increase your skills. Always be studying people who have achieved what you want to achieve. Make learning a daily habit, not just something you do when you have time. Second, always be expanding your vision of what's possible for your life. Don't settle for small dreams. Don't accept limitations that others have accepted. Constantly ask yourself, what would be possible if you really applied everything you're learning? What could you create if you really used all of your potential? What impact could you make if you really committed to excellence? Third, always be looking for ways to serve at a higher level. Don't just do the minimum required to get by. Look for ways to add more value than anyone expects. Look for problems that need solving. Look for needs that aren't being met. Look for ways to make people's lives better than they were before they encountered you. When you live this way, when you're constantly advancing in knowledge, vision, and service, you become irresistible to wealth. Opportunities start seeking you out instead of you having to seek them out. People start wanting to do business with you because they know you're going to deliver more value than anyone else. Money starts flowing to you because you're creating more reasons for it to flow to you. The advancing life is not about working harder. It's about working smarter, thinking bigger, and serving better. It's about becoming the kind of person that wealth naturally flows to because you're constantly creating more value for the world. But here's the key point that Wattles emphasized. You have to advance not just for yourself, but for the advancement of all life. You have to grow not just to get more for yourself, but to give more to others. You have to expand not just your own opportunities, but opportunities for everyone around you. When you advance with this spirit, when you grow with the intention of lifting others up with you, you align yourself with the fundamental purpose of the universe itself. The universe is constantly expanding, constantly creating, constantly advancing toward greater expression of life. When you align your personal advancement with universal advancement, you tap into infinite power. From this moment forward, make advancement your way of life. Never accept where you are as where you have to stay. Always be reaching for the next level of growth, the next level of service, the next level of contribution. Make yourself too valuable for your current circumstances, and watch how quickly your circumstances upgrade to match your increased value. Now that you understand these 6 principles that govern wealth creation according to the exact science of Wallace D. Wattles, let me show you how to put them all together into a daily practice that will transform your financial life, starting immediately. Every morning when you wake up, before you check your phone, before you think about your problems, before you do anything else, spend the first 30 minutes of your day programming wealth into your life using these principles. Start with 5 minutes of deep gratitude for the abundance that's already flowing to you and the abundance that's coming to you. Feel it in your body, not just in your mind. Then spend 10 minutes visualizing your ideal financial life with perfect clarity and absolute faith. See yourself living the life you want to live, earning the money you want to earn, serving people the way you want to serve them. Make it so real in your mind that your subconscious can't tell the difference between the visualization and reality. Next, spend 10 minutes asking the thinking substance to guide your actions for that day. Ask what you should do, who you should contact, what opportunities you should pursue, what skills you should develop. Listen for the inspiration and write down whatever comes to you, even if it doesn't make logical sense. Finally, spend 5 minutes affirming your commitment to the advancing life. Remind yourself that you're constantly growing, constantly learning, constantly expanding your capacity to serve others and create value in the world. Set your intention to act on every inspiration you receive throughout the day. During the day, pay attention to 3 things. First, notice your thoughts about money and wealth. Are you thinking creative thoughts or competitive thoughts? Are you thinking abundance thoughts or scarcity thoughts? Are you thinking from wealth or thinking about lack? Correct your thinking immediately whenever you catch yourself thinking thoughts that would create poverty instead of wealth. Second, notice opportunities to serve others at a higher level than you've served before. Look for problems you can solve, needs you can meet, value you can add. Remember, wealth comes through service, so the more value you create for others, the more wealth will flow to you. Third, notice inspirations to take specific actions and act on them immediately. Don't analyze them to death. Don't wait for a more convenient time. Don't talk yourself out of them. The thinking substance is guiding you toward your goals through these inspirations, but you have to trust the guidance and act on it. Every evening before you go to sleep, spend 10 minutes reviewing your day through the lens of these principles. Did you maintain grateful connection to infinite supply? Did you hold clear mental images with unwavering faith? Did you take intelligent action on the inspirations you received? Did you think creatively instead of competitively? Did you live the advancing life? If you practice these principles consistently, celebrate your progress and feel grateful for the movement toward your goals. If you got distracted or forgot to apply them, don't judge yourself. Just recommit to practicing them more consistently tomorrow. This is a practice, not a perfection. But here's what you must understand above everything else. These principles work with mathematical certainty when applied consistently and correctly. They're not theories or philosophies or wishful thinking. They're natural laws that govern the creation of wealth, just as surely as the law of gravity governs the movement of objects. Thousands of people have used these exact principles to create extraordinary wealth from ordinary circumstances. They work for anyone who applies them faithfully, regardless of their starting point, their background, their education, or their current financial situation. The thinking substance doesn't discriminate. It responds to anyone who aligns with its laws. The only question is whether you're going to apply these principles or just think about applying them, whether you're going to practice them consistently or just when you feel like it, whether you're going to trust them completely or doubt them partially. Your financial future is being created by your thoughts, feelings, and actions right now, in this moment. The thinking substance is responding to the mental vibration you're sending out right now. The universe is preparing to deliver to you whatever you're consistently expecting right now. If you want different financial results, you have to start thinking different thoughts, feeling different feelings, and taking different actions. You have to align yourself with the principles that create wealth instead of the habits that create poverty. You have to become the kind of person that wealth naturally flows to. The choice is yours, and the choice is now. You can continue thinking the same thoughts that created your current financial situation, or you can start thinking the thoughts that will create the financial situation you actually want. You can continue operating from competitive thinking and scarcity mentality, or you can shift to creative thinking and abundance mentality. You can continue hoping that your circumstances will change without changing yourself, or you can start changing yourself in ways that force your circumstances to change. You can continue working harder for money, or you can start aligning with the laws that cause money to work for you. The exact science of getting rich that Wallace D. Wattles discovered is available to you right now. The thinking substance is ready to respond to your clear mental images right now. The universe is ready to support your advancing life right now. All the wealth you could ever need or want is ready to flow to you right now. But it's waiting for you to stop thinking like a poor person and start thinking like a wealthy person. It's waiting for you to stop acting from limitation and start acting from abundance. It's waiting for you to stop competing for what already exists and start creating what doesn't exist yet. The formula for wealth has been revealed to you. The principles have been explained to you. The daily practices have been outlined for you. Everything you need to multiply your income and create lasting financial freedom is now in your hands. The only thing left is for you to decide. Are you going to apply these principles starting today? Or are you going to continue living the same financial life you've been living? Are you going to commit to the advancing life? Or are you going to settle for where you are? Your wealth is not coming to you in the future. It's being created by you right now through your thoughts, your feelings, your mental images, and your actions. Take control of these things, align them with natural law, and watch how quickly your financial life transforms beyond anything you ever imagined possible. The science of getting rich is exact, it's reliable, and it's available to you. The only question is whether you're ready to use it. Your millionaire life is waiting for you on the other side of your decision to apply these principles consistently and faithfully. Make that decision now and begin your journey to financial freedom today.